Welcome to this week's Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting. Your Board of Commissioners, overseeing these dedicated county departments. And now, your county commissioners, working together for the citizens of Jackson County.
Good morning and welcome to the Wednesday meeting of the Jackson County Board of Commissioners here at the County Courthouse on January 18th at 9:30 a.m. We'll start our business with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I've asked our County Counsel, General Counsel Ryan Kirchhoff, to lead us in that, please.
Thank you. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, I don't know if it's a storm or the threat of the storm or what, but we have a rather sparse crowd this morning. A couple folks here, but so we don't know. We have our emergency services supervisor here, Mike Curry, and talking a little bit about what's going on, getting some snow in the mountains, I understand, but and a little bit of rain here. So certainly need the moisture. We just hope it doesn't get into the extremes. I guess up north, Salem up north is getting pounded pretty heavily. Okay, well, with that, let's go ahead and get started with the agenda this morning. The first item on the agenda is a request for discussion for non-agenda items. Members of the audience may address any item not on the agenda. State statute prohibits the members of the Board of Commissioners from discussing a principal subject that is not on the agenda. But the Board of Commissioners does listen to your concerns and may ask staff to follow up on any questions you raise. With that, are there any discussion items that are not on the agenda? Having none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, 20.00 on the consent calendar. 20.01, in order to appoint Scott Perry to the Commission of Children and Families, and 20.02, order to appoint Curtis Burrell to the Economic Development Advisory Committee.
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the consent calendar as presented and read and worked on in a work session last Thursday.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. I'll second that motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Yes. Motion so ordered and approved. Next item on the agenda is public hearings. There are none for this meeting, so we'll move on to the next one. Discussion and deliberation 40.01, an order authorizing CenturyLink 911 Ollie database extract agreement with Quest Corporation doing business as CenturyLink. Danny?
Right, Mr. Chair, with the county's implementation of the new Citizen Alert emergency notification system, which the public can access through our county website at www.jacksoncounty.org, Jackson County needs to ensure it has correct contact phone numbers. We hope to have this contract in place to be able to update those phone numbers on a semi-annual basis. CenturyLink does have the capability to provide, as you said, Ollie, which stands for Automatic Location Identification, for the new Citizen Alert Emergency Notification System. As you can assume, maintaining an accurate and updated 911 database is extremely important and necessary to ensure proper notification for all citizens within Jackson County. The Emergency Management Program did allocate $5,000 in their current budget to pay for the service. In other words, we anticipated the need to do this and budgeted for such. The term of the agreement would begin upon execution by Quest Corporation, who's doing business as CenturyLink. It will remain in effect for a period of 2 years should you approve it. After the expiration of that initial term, however, the agreement would automatically renew for periods equal to the initial 2-year term, unless it is terminated by either party in accordance with the agreement. So, in other words, we have the ability to get out of the agreement at any time with notice as indicated in the agreement. It is an expense of $5,000. It is budgeted, and I do recommend your approval.
Thank you very much, Danny. I'm going to take this moment or so to advertise a little commercial on what this does here and its benefits to the citizens of Jackson County. I'm going to ask Mike Curry to come up and just, again, kind of explain for those who may not be. We've tried to advertise this as best we can. We have posters around, and I think we've had other methodologies of trying to get the word out. But Mike, for those who may not be aware of what this process is, would you mind taking a moment or two to explain it?
Now, the new alert and warning system we have concerning this board order of capturing the 911 database, we previously had a 5-year contract with Quest that was initiated in 2006 and expired in 2011, which was timely because we got our last disc of the 911 database to implement this system. What the opt-in portion of Citizen Alert does is it allows them to choose how they wish to be notified, whether it's by cell phone, by text message, by email, by landline phone. So it gives them the option of how they want to receive this information, and it also allows them to target 5 separate addresses. Like if you want to know if something happens to your kid's school, or if your parents live in rural, you want to know if something's happening out there, you will also get that, but you have to physically go in and opt in. Even if you don't have a cell phone and just have a landline, you still have the capability to attach your home phone to these different locations. So it's an added benefit. The old system that we had was just a 911 database, and we only sent out emergency notifications. The 911 database is only for emergency notifications, and we can't use that to send community alerts. So that's why people need to opt in and say they want to receive these community alerts. And it's always geographic specific. In other words, the whole county's not going to hear these, just the geographic regions that's affected by this.
And we started this program when, Mike?
In September. Well, we had the kickoff in September. We were fine-tuning it in August. And hopefully this next September, I have already allocated budget money to do another information campaign. Our last campaign was very successful. I'm sure we all saw it on TV, but we still only have about 68, close to 6,900 people who have opted in, and we want to increase that number.
So people can still, if they didn't sign up initially, they can still call
absolutely.
in.
It's
so
up
it's
and
a dynamic sign up. Okay.
And I've walked several people through. They call, they send emails, because just the passwording is a little difficult as far as their requirements of at least a number, a special character, uppercase, lowercase. So, but I've done it especially for seniors. They call up and they're not.
That's a security
literate.
issue.
Yeah, and I walk them through it and do it for them.
Okay,
so if anybody has a problem, they can call me direct or go on the website and you can send me an email and I'll contact you.
It's a great benefit, yeah.
Mike, why don't you provide your phone number for them to call you directly?
Thank you.
The phone number would be 541-774-6821.
6821, 774-6821. Thank you. Commissioner, any questions?
Well, I think
or
it's a
comments?
great benefit, particularly when we have a fire season coming on.
Yes.
And we have communities that are highly susceptible to those conflagrations and so forth, and isolated, but yet this is a great way to get a hold of as many people as possible in short notice. So I think it's wonderful.
Yeah. And
when we had flooding, we had
the
deputies.
Ashland Police Chief, Fire Chief Carnes has already utilized it twice in the city of Ashland.
Yeah.
So
that's
he's
great.
very impressed with it. It's very effective.
Yeah.
And I have heard from Central Point, they were discussing it initially to come on board, and now they're rediscussing it. So it looks like we're going to get Central Point into the mix.
Yeah.
Because the price is based on their population, and it wouldn't be very expensive for them to get in on this.
Okay, good. Are there other counties in the state doing this?
There's several counties that have the Everbridge, and that's one of the reasons we kind of got a really good deal, because our good deal was on unlimited calls, because all the others vendors had the hook of you get so many minutes and then you use them, you have to buy more minutes. This vendor, trying to get his foot in the door and get more counties, we got unlimited calls. Of course, we're not using it all the time, but the capability is there.
So the message is, if you haven't notified us of your contact number, do so.
That is correct.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. Good job.
Commissioner, we have a
All right. Mr. Chair, I move
Order.
approval of order number 14-12 as presented by staff.
Thank you, sir. I'll second that motion. Roll call.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Spencer?
Yes. So ordered and approved. The next item on the agenda is 40.02, an order authorizing installation and service agreements with Stanley Convergent Security Solutions Incorporated, a multi-year agreement with other companies for fire testing, inspection, and support services. Danny?
Right, Mr. Chair, there are two actions the board's being asked to take here. One is to approve specific contract that I'll identify here when I give you the description. The other is to approve the entering into additional contracts based on the same criteria and explanation you get for the first contract. In this case, Jackson County would like to enter into 3 installation and service agreements to engage Stanley Convergent Security Solutions Incorporated. This is to perform annual fire testing and inspections and to provide support from their Technical Assistance Center to ensure that the county is in compliance with state and local fire codes and to meet requirements for annual inspections. Those 3 agreements reference specific facilities in the county. That's the Talent Transition Center North and the Talent Transition Center South, as well as the Corrections and Elections Facility on West Main. The amounts are very small. These are normally something that I, as county administrator, have delegated authority to approve based on the dollar amounts. The reason why it's being brought to the board is because it extends beyond one year to multi-year contracts. In this case, for the Talent Transition Center North, it's $528 annually. For the Talent Transition Center South, it's $360 annually. And for the Corrections and Election Center on West Main, it's $528 annually. Additionally, in this case, Jackson County, as I said, seeking authority to enter into other multi-year agreements with other companies for fire testing, inspection, and support services for other county facilities that we will negotiate. Authorizing multi-year agreements with other companies who we haven't identified at this time for fire testing, inspection, and support services will alleviate the need to request future authorization for the work related to requesting such authorizations. Total annual expense of the agreements, the agreements with Stanley Convergent Security Solutions Incorporated is $1,416. The term of the agreements is effective upon execution. It will go 60 months from the date the system becomes operative. The term of the agreement with other companies has not yet been determined, but may be for multiple years, likely for similar small dollar amounts. Financial impact for this specific contract that you're awarding is $1,416. It's an initial annual expense. We will expect other annual expenses in similar amounts, and I do recommend your approval.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Chair, I move approval of order number 1512 as presented by the county administrator.
Thank you. I'll second that motion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Spencer?
Yes. Motion so carried and approved. The final agenda item on today's agenda is 40.03, an order authorizing the local public health authority comprehensive plan for fiscal year 2012-2013 for Jackson County, Oregon, and the agreements under the plan. Order 16-12. Danny?
Right, Mr. Chair, in order to receive funding from the state, Jackson County, through its Health and Human Services Department, is required to submit an annual plan to the state. The local public health authority comprehensive plan for fiscal year 2012-13 covers many of the programs ran by Health and Human Services Department specific to public health and outlines the direction the programs have taken. The viability of public health programs is depending on funding by the state. In the case of public health, the county does contribute to that, but the vast majority of funds for the program come from the state or come from the federal government through the state, who manages those funds on behalf of the federal government. The plan in this case includes a synopsis of Jackson County's compliance with minimum standards that the state sets in order to be able to receive the funding for local health departments. Services help to promote and preserve the health of the citizens of Jackson County. There is no direct financial impact from submission of the plan. However, submission of the plan ensures that we will receive funding in the future based on that plan. Therefore, I do recommend your approval.
Thank you.
Okay.
Questions?
No questions, Mr. Chair. I move approval of board order number
16-12.
16-12, as presented by the county administrator.
Thank you. I'll second that motion. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, motion so ordered and approved, or approved and ordered, to get my terminology correctly on that. And with that, that completes the agenda for today's meeting, and I will close this meeting as of 9:45 here on the 18th of January. I do want to say for folks out driving around, be careful. We don't know what's going to happen snow-wise and such, but just wet and slick highways, so be careful out there, and thank you very much.
You've been watching the weekly Jackson County Board of Commissioners meeting, held every Wednesday morning at 9:30. If you have any questions or comments, you can contact the commissioners at 774-6116. You can also visit www.jacksoncounty.org and click on Video and TV Center to view many of the county's latest